Welcome back to Firestorm Games, and this time we're going to be showing you how you can paint the Poxwalkers from Warhammer 40k, and we'll be showing you how to paint in a very quick and easy way which will allow you to get your miniatures from the box and to the table in no time whatsoever, and we'll be using the Citadel range of paints to do so. Before we can begin painting our miniature, we first of all need to prime it, and I would highly recommend using a white or at least a light grey primer for this, as it will make some of the later steps a lot easier. After priming, the first area of the miniature that we'll be tackling will be the trousers, and for this I'll be applying a base coat of Khorne Red over the entirety of them. Now for all of the base coats in this tutorial, I would highly recommend using a mixture of 1 part paint to 1 part water, allowing the first application to dry thoroughly before applying one over the top. This will give us a nice rich base colour in which to build up from in later steps, without obscuring the details by applying the paint too thickly. In this next step, I'll now be tackling the various leather straps and pouches that we have on the miniature, and for this I'll be using a base coat of Dryad Bark, and I'll be applying it in the exact same way as I did for the red trousers. The next area of the miniature that I'll be tackling will be any horns, nails or teeth emanating from the miniature, and we want to start off painting these areas with the base coat of Rakarth Flesh. The next area to base coat on this miniature will be the metallic areas, and for this I'll be using Leadbelcher. Now this includes the weapon but also any buckles there may be on the miniature as well. Now when painting your metallic paints, be very careful not to overspill onto the areas that we've already painted, as it can be quite tricky to paint over metallic paints once you've overspilt. With all of the base coats completed, we can now start work on the washes, and the first wash I'll be applying will be one of Reikland Fleshshade over all of the skin areas. Now this is where the importance of the primer colour comes into play. If we used a black primer, this technique wouldn't work. However, using a light grey or a white primer gives the effect of a pallid skin tone. Continuing with the washes, I'll now be applying a wash of Athonian Camoshade over the various boils and pockmarks that plague the Poxwalkers' flesh. This will give them a nice and subtle greenish skin tone, which will contrast against the skin colour we've already achieved. The next wash that I'll be applying to this miniature will be of Agrax Earthshade, and this has a number of different uses depending on where it's applied. Applying it to the weapon will give us a nice dirty and rusted effect, whilst applying it to the horns and the trousers will flow into the recesses and really help to bring out the details in these areas. The final wash to apply to our miniature is one of Seraphim Sepia. Now I'll be using this wash to pick out all of the individual maggots that infest the Poxwalker, and also be using it to pick out the teeth and also the eyes of the Poxwalker as well. And here we have the completed Poxwalker. Now this tutorial was very quick and easy and should allow you to get your miniatures from the box set and to the tabletop in no time whatsoever. Now, as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, this miniature was taken from the Dark Imperium box set, and it's available on the Firestorm Games web store for 10% off the RRP at £85.50. And I'll include a link in the description below which will take you directly to the web store where you can pick up one of these box sets for yourself. If you enjoyed this video, please do let us know in the comments below along with your suggestions for future tutorials, and also don't forget to subscribe to be kept up to date with any future videos that we may do. And finally, a huge thanks from us for tuning in, and we'll see you again on Firestorm Games.